And we're back once again with the Trashpicked RB Computing desktop machine. If you're just tuning in, the system has an AMD Athlon 1 GHz CPU installed in it. I believe they were still calling them the Athlon XP when this one was produced. Well, actually, this is one of the older ones, but I think they were calling it the Athlon XP by the time this one was being produced. That's better. And it came to me with 512 megs of RAM installed in it, and both of the RAM sticks happened to be bad, or at least they both triggered errors in memtest. I don't know if both the sticks are in fact bad. I still need to test them. But I replaced the RAM, which turned out to be a little bit of a delicate ballet in installing memory modules, but I did actually manage to get it done. So it's got 1.5 gigs installed in it right now. I replaced both the optical drives with working optical drives. I put in a new hard drive because the hard drive that was in it was a screamer, and the one that's in it now is not. I think it's a 40 gigabyte IBM hard drive. It's installed in there now. But we're going to take care of some other things in this video. In fact, we're going to be a little bit adventurous in this video, because if you remember, I put Peppermint Linux on this, and the resulting video was rather artistic. A little bit of a side note, I have this ProView LCD monitor out for the first time in a long time. This came to me courtesy of Ross ACBs, along with a whole bunch of other 4x3 monitors, but I don't use it because I don't actually have a video, or not a video, but a power cable kicking around for it. I just happened to borrow the one off of the recently evicted Samsung monitor. This is not something I'm probably going to be able to do a whole lot about, the fact that Firefox will not run, because Firefox, as I remember it, requires hardware-resident, CPU-resident instructions that the Athlon XP doesn't have. The Athlon XP is only new enough to have SSE instructions. I think Firefox requires at least SSE2, if not SSE3 at this point. So, unfortunately, that's really not going to be of much use. Some of the colors look correct. Others, well, let's just say they don't. And the desktop background also does not look very hot. So we're going to shut this off. We're going to experiment with this a little bit. Okay, the beast is open. Here's the original video card. R92LE, 128 megabyte. Again, this was probably a very high-end video card when it was new, even if it is only the low-end version, the LE. I think it's a Radeon 9200, if I remember right. Yep. CNOR 9200. So, yeah, Radeon 9200. But it's probably a good thing I'm replacing this. Look at that. It's got a vent on the top, and yet it looks like it's blown out the bottom. I have no idea why it did that. Well, that's a TPO capacitor, or as I like to call them, cheapo, so that's probably all you need to know right there, but I think it's interesting. I think that's the only time I've ever seen that. Except in conditions where they've been, well, let's just say abused. So I'd like to think that's not happening in this case. A Radeon 9200 is probably not really worth the effort and the time investment to replace such a capacitor. But if I could do it for free, and I suspect I can, I think we've got 1000 microfarad 10 volt capacitors sitting in stock at work, I may actually replace that cap and put this video card into some kind of low intensity application. But what are we going to install to replace that? Well, it looks like it's probably a dual slot card, or you'd guess that considering I've removed 2 slots. But what is it? We're going to install this. Yes, that's right. I can't believe I'm even going to try this. Oh, wow. But I am. Looks like there's space for 2 fans. I hope it doesn't require 2 fans, because I've only got the one. But this is, according to the back of it anyway, an Intense 3D Wildcat CSMT 66100. It says Intergraph on the back of it. MSMT 661. It's actually an AGP Pro video card, and believe it or not, this actually has an AGP Pro slot in it. You can see that little bit of extra over there. There was a block in there, a little blank, but I pulled that out. You might have seen that in one of the previous videos. It's based on the chips 65554, a very common chip. Didn't really think that was a powerful chip, but maybe I'm completely wrong. But anyway, I think it's time to try and put this in there, don't you think? Well, I will admit, I'm kind of... this was kind of unexpected. It actually fits in here perfectly. In fact, it's even shorter than the case is. Not sure if that's a good thing or not. It does seem to be pretty secure in there, though. And I'll definitely have to reroute some of this wiring, because I don't really like that floppy cable being right in the way of the fan like that. But I guess if it doesn't work, that'll all be moot, so I'm not going to worry about it, at least for now. Once everything is verified to be working, I will worry myself with cable management. Oh, and I forgot something. I forgot to plug back the USB header, so I'll have to do that before I button this thing up and give it a try. Although I'll probably give it a try before I button it up. Even if there's a possibility that 6-foot flames might shoot out the side of it and burn my monitor and probably that stack of stuff over there and no doubt cause a fire on my bed, which is a great place for it, by the way. Don't do like I do. Do not work on computers on your bed, but I'm very space limited, so this is what I have to work with. Eventually the plan is to maybe move some of the junk that's sitting over there away from there and use that area to start working on computers, but for now, this will have to do. Well, there's no hiding from it now. Here we go. I realize I forgot to plug that header back in again. Oh well, it won't be necessary anyway. It's only a couple USB ports. Well, that didn't make it catch fire. Beep code. We got video. Look at that. Different font, too. It's very interesting, actually. Now the big test. Will Linux like it? Or will I have to reinstall Linux? Let's find out. I don't think cable routing will actually be a problem after all, because the cable fell down from it. And I did that. And the other thing, too, let's see if we can get some light on the situation. The battery's about to run down, that's not good. But the fan down there is working. Look at that. Okay, I can't have that on for very long, because it kills my battery. Still hasn't booted, though. I wonder if it's actually going to, because I don't see any sign of activity from the hard drive. That might not be good. Well, that certainly had the opposite effect of what I was expecting. The colors are still messed up. As you can see there, in the desktop background looks significantly fruity, but we're now stuck at 640 by 480. So what I'm going to do is, because it's possible that there is an ATI driver loaded, it's conflicting with this, I'm going to try booting it again off of the CD and reinstalling, and we'll see if that happens to fix it. I don't think it will, but you might as well try it. If not, I'm going to have to change Linux distributions. Well, that didn't work as planned. I think, as you can probably tell, it's a little bit later. Apparently, and I'm actually not really too surprised to learn this, but Linux does not appreciate the chips 65554 video processor that is on this card. Again, like I said, I'm not really surprised to learn this, because, after all, that is a pretty old chip. But it's kind of disappointing, because this is the only AGP Pro system that I own, so that's basically the only system that this card could ever actually fit in. I don't know, if I actually do go ahead with my idea of turning this into a server of some kind, I may put the card back. But it does mean that I now have to find another video card, and I do not actually have a whole lot of AGP video cards. Apparently they're all in other systems or something. The only one that I found that isn't a piece of junk and doesn't have blown capacitors is this, which is not really much better than what came out. It's Radeon 9250, as opposed to the one that came out, which was a 9200. I did also find a GeForce FX 5200, but again, that's a piece of crap, and that card has blown capacitors on it as well, although not nearly as bad as the 9200 that I pulled out. But, in the absence of having anything else, I'm going to put this in there, and if that still doesn't work, which I suspect that it won't, then I guess we're going to just have to revisit this at another time. I can't win. Look at this. See all those lines in the video? Yeah, that's not the camera. That is the card doing that. I don't know if the cable is loose. No, it's not loose. Maybe the connector's broken. I don't know, but either way, it's not supposed to look like that. But I don't care. I do have to reinstall the operating system because I messed it up trying to do some Unwise experiments with the chips card installed, which is actually an Intergraph. It's an Intergraph Intense 3D Wildcat of some description or another. Tried looking up online and I found a manual, but the manual doesn't apply to the one that I actually have, so that's terrifically useful. Is it going to open the installer or what? Well, I'm going to see if I can get this installed and we'll see where we go from there. I'm probably going to have to go dig through my box of AGP cards at work and put a different card in here. Although it does look like the pattern is changing and maybe getting better. I don't know if there was a capacitor on the board that needed to be reformed or what. But if it's a capacitor, that's probably not a good sign anyway. Well, this video's over. Once again, I'm going to change that. But I've tried a whole bunch of things, including putting the original card back, and it won't boot anything, so I don't know what the hell the problem is, but clearly it's got one. So, I don't care. I got better things to do.